On July 24, 2026, an FDA advisory committee voted on the future of 7 peptides commonly discussed in longevity and biohacking circles. 6 passed, 1 didn't. And the biohacking community reacted like the vote had legalized these peptides, which is not what actually happened. I'm Dr. Trevor Turner from Pravida Health. I completed the SSRP peptide therapy certification with Dr. William Seeds. Today, I want to walk you through what the FDA Pharmacy Compounding Advisory Committee, PCAC, actually did, what it means, and what it emphatically does not mean for peptide therapy in the United States. Let's start with the vote itself. 7 peptides were reviewed. The affirmative recommendations for potential inclusion on the FDA 503 ABulks list were BPC 157 at 8-6, KPV at 8-6, and TB 500 at 8-6. Also affirmative were MOTS-C at 7-5, Epitalin at 7-4, and Cmax at 8-5. The negative vote was DSIP delta sleep-inducing peptide at 6, 4, and 7 against. Now here's what matters. The PCAC is an advisory committee. Its job is to make a recommendation to the FDA. The FDA is not obligated to accept those recommendations. In fact, all 6 affirmative recommendations went against what FDA career staff had recommended based on their safety and evidence review. So the actual pathway now looks like this. Step 1, the FDA reviews the committee's recommendations, the science, public comments, and adverse event data from the FAERS reporting system. Step 2, the FDA either proposes a rule or declines to. If a rule is proposed, there's a public comment period. Step 3, the FDA finalizes the rule. Realistic timeline for a final rule is 12 to 18 months from the vote. And there's a second PCAC session scheduled for February 2027 that will review additional peptides. So let me be very clear. A committee vote is not FDA approval. It is not evidence that any of these peptides are clinically effective. It is not permission to prescribe them. It is a regulatory signal that a pathway may exist in the future for licensed compounding pharmacies to compound these bulk substances legally. Second, the negative vote on DSIP is not a reban. It just means no new pathway from this vote for DSIP. Nothing changed for that peptide's current status. Third, MOTS-C and TB 500 are on the WADA prohibited list, meaning any competitive athlete using them faces sanctions. There are FAERS reported adverse events, there are CGMP sourcing questions, and the challenge of identifying pharmacies with documented purity and identity. Here's the framework I use with patients at Pravida when we discuss peptide therapy. Question 1, what is the specific clinical indication? What symptom, biomarker, or condition are we trying to address? And what's the mechanism by which this specific peptide is expected to address it? Question 2, what human evidence exists for this peptide in this indication? Not animal studies, not testimonials. What phase 1 or phase 2 human data exists? Question 3, what are the regulatory, sourcing, and safety implications? Is it a licensed 503A or 503B pharmacy with documented certificates of analysis? That framework applies whether the FDA finalizes a 503A rule or not. The committee vote doesn't shortcut the clinical reasoning. And I want to be direct. Pravida Health does not sell peptides. We source through vetted compounding pharmacies with proper credentialing. That's the model that protects patients. If you're currently taking peptides sourced from the gray market, the PCAC vote does not change the risk profile. The peptide is not more legitimate just because a committee voted. Watch this space over the next 12 to 18 months. The FDA's response will reshape the compounded peptide landscape. But the practical reality of the sourcing questions hasn't changed. If you'd like to discuss peptide therapy the right way, the consultation link is in the description. Subscribe for ongoing physician coverage. Thanks for watching.